Technologies. Hey, this is Dr. Otto Janke with the New York Chiropractic Council. Coming up on March 22nd, 23rd in the beautiful Niagara Falls, we're having the next Lyceum. You should be there. I'll be speaking, but more importantly, this person, Dr. Christine Zapata, all the way from
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington will be speaking there. I'm going to come back to this in a moment, but she did this book, the Book Yourself Solid for chiropractors right there. My staff and I have gone through this. We've written all through this and everything. You can see all the stuff we write. We take notes. I give books. We take notes on this stuff all the time.
I love it.
Chiropractors are always looking for the business aspect. I talk about this all the time. We talk about the three-legged stool, the art, the science, and the philosophy of chiropractic. I think it's a fourth and fifth leg to the stool, which is the business and the marketing of it, the communication of it. This is a simplicity of it. This is a simplistic part of it. Dr. Christine Zapata, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited for March.
Is it true you might be going over a barrel over the falls?
If the opportunity arises, yes.
You have no idea, my friend. You have no idea. You have no idea. It's going to be a bit chilly. First of all, let's start with the book, and we're going to come back to the book. How did that book come to you? Why the whole process of the book?
Yeah, I get asked this question often, and I have been a chiropractor for almost 20 years. And as soon as got out of school, started working as an associate doctor, worked in a couple offices before making my way up here to Seattle. And my mentor ended up introducing me to Michael Port and the Book Yourself Solid book, the original version, and ended up going to an event. I think at the time it was called the Upper Cervical Evolution. It was an event that was taking place in California. This was probably like 2009, 2010. And Michael Port was speaking there. And my mentor was like, hey, we've been reading this book. I think we should do this little side seminar or side workshop. Michael Port's going to be there. And I think that because we're going through the book, it just makes sense to hear him speak. And Sean Dill and Lacey Book were there. Got to meet Michael Port, hear him speak for the very first time. And then fast forward to a couple years ago, I really have been utilizing the Book Yourself Solid concepts all these years. And Sean and Lacey recognized that when I became a clinic owner, that I was still using the Book Yourself Solid concepts. And when they acquired Book Yourself Solid, they were like, we need to make a different version or an edition that is specific to chiropractors. Right. And who better to do this than Christine Zapata, because we've been able to see her use all of the concepts in her practice from an associate to a clinic director to clinic owner. And so that's how the opportunity ended up in my lap.
How cool is that?
It was awesome.
What a great opportunity.
Yeah, it was full circle, really. And I couldn't have been more thrilled.
Absolutely. First of all, so I'm gonna critique the book for you.
Okay.
First of all, there's nothing super massively difficult about this.
Nope.
Nothing super massively difficult about this book, but it takes all of that marketing, that sales, the stuff that we are either overwhelmed with or know nothing about whatsoever, and it says, "This is it. This is the steps. These are the steps." I'm going to take that. Probably many of these steps docs either do or don't do, or they don't follow through on enough. But your book really makes it so simple to really follow through on that.
Yeah, I love that the Book Yourself Solid system framework is all laid out for you. And we know that the concepts work in any service-based business, because this really started as something for coaches and consultants. And now there's a specific version for chiropractors. So chiropractors who go through the book can actually see different examples. They can see how other chiropractic offices have been able to implement these concepts, which I think is really impactful, because then a reader can see, okay, this is how I can apply this. And I think the thing that is probably daunting for people, and you had touched on this, while the system and the framework is all there for you, and people will do some parts of it. It's really the whole thing together that will really make a huge impact in a chiropractic business. So it takes a lot of time, but it's so worth it if you go through everything, all the exercises,
Yep.
you answer all the questions. If you go through it, you definitely finish the book having such a huge arsenal of things that can help move the needle when it comes to marketing and selling.
Absolutely. So when we did it, I bought copies for my staff, and every week we'd go through a chapter, and it was Thursday. This is what we're doing. We get lunch, we bring it in, and then we go through the chapter. So here's the reality of it: is that some chapters we were pretty good at, or some parts of some chapters we were pretty good at. Other chapters we stunk at. And so it was also nice to know these are where our strengths are and these are where our weaknesses are. And the simplicity of saying this is how we can put that into play, I think is first of all comforting for docs, but also gives you a really good blueprint.
Yes, totally. And I think that that's a lot of times what people are looking for. They're like,
Right.
what is a very efficient, replicatable system that I can utilize in my own practice so I don't have to reinvent the entire wheel? And I love that you're going through the book with your staff because that can be incredibly impactful for a chiropractic business. If you get everybody on your team on the same page and they understand the things that you're trying to implement into your practice, then it just makes everything move so much faster because everybody's on the same page.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for me in my practice, it's myself and my office manager, and we're able to go and say, "Listen, you do that, I'll do this. You do that, you do that," and you can take that and make it. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? But you
Hmm.
go through this. What I also found very comforting in some parts was that although this is made for chiropractors, as you said, this is something that's been done for years, for decades in businesses. And if you're looking for as you say here, the fastest, easiest, most reliable system, I think this is a key point for you is that this is reproducible literally everywhere.
Hmm. Yep. I know that this Book Yourself Solid system and framework has worked for me over the years and thousands of other service providers, not just chiropractors.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I
How
love
cool is
it.
that? And so Dr. Zapata will be speaking at the Lyceum coming up March 22nd, 23rd in Niagara Falls. And we're lucky to have someone who is in there doing this stuff, has done it for years, and now is going to give you the blueprint right there. I think this is going to be a treasure, and we're so glad we got you come along for this. Let's talk about something you did over COVID, which is unique. You were very happy to give $100 away, weren't you?
Ah, yes. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm right in the heart of Seattle, Washington, which was ground zero for COVID in the US. The first case was just a couple miles from my office. And at the time, this was so long ago, but I remember it vividly. The narrative at the time was, hey, we've got to flatten the curve. We're going to
Yeah.
lock down for 2 weeks. And I talked to so many patients, so many business owners, so many people in the community who were like, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. There was so much doom and gloom. There was so much anxiety and stress. People just had no idea what we were about to get into. And I thought, oh, there has to be something that I can do to try to lead the community. I want to try to do something positive. And so I decided that I was going to leave $100 at a local business every Friday while we were locked down, which at the time was only supposed to be for 2 weeks. I ultimately just, uh,
Oh, it's a
I
lot
would
of money
just,
so far.
I wanted to again try to do something that flipped the script. I wanted to spread joy to people's day. I wanted to try to support local businesses because while things were going to get locked down, expenses were still going to be there. And
Right.
I also wanted to help people who were getting furloughed. There were a lot of people in our area who they were either getting let go or they were getting furloughed. And so I decided, yeah, let's leave $100 at, I left it at a donut shop right around the corner from my office that a lot of people in our neighborhood go to. And I recorded a video. I said, hey, I left $100 here. It's here for anybody that says put it on Dr. Christine's tab as long as the money lasts. And I kept that up. I was consistent. I did that every single Friday for almost 4 years.
Wow.
And that while it was something that I wanted to do for the community, it ended up helping me stand out among all of the other chiropractors in Seattle. There's probably a couple hundred just in the city, and I had a lot of people approach me saying, I think that what you're doing for local businesses is highly commendable. I don't see any of our elected officials stepping up and doing things
Right.
like this. And that meant a lot because again, I wanted to try to do something that was positive and that would help people in the community. So that's definitely something that has helped me stand out. And that's one of the things that we talk about in Book Yourself Solid. Michael Port and I, when we were writing the book, he was like, Christine, we really need to get chiropractors to understand the more they blend in, the more they're going to fade away. They have to do things that are going to help them stand out. And that was one thing that really helped me stand out during COVID.
You make that point. First of all, I did the same as you. I went to my local community, gave $100 for a while also.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, it also felt really good.
Yeah. Right.
But you talked about standing out. We get sometimes overwhelmed with the idea of standing out and that we shouldn't stand out because, wait a minute, although I have a special technique, I don't want everybody to. And although I think the Book Yourself Solid method gives you an opportunity to shine a light. You're not going to you will stand out, but you're going to shine a light on your such your positiveness and on you being I'm a pretty good doc. And
Mhm.
we're told often, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But I think this is a very, very simple way to move forward. I love that word, reliable, right there. Reliable
Yes.
and
Yep.
reproducible.
Yep.
Coming up in March 22nd, 23rd, the New York Chiropractic Council. And it's going to be a rock star show, by the way. And this lady's going to be here rocking it with the Book Yourself Solid for chiropractors. Dr. Christine Z, thank you so much, and I'll be seeing you in a couple months.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Can't wait to see everybody in Niagara Falls.
You ain't seen nothing, and she said she's going to be going over in a barrel, too. Write that one down, guys.